What's up, ballers? Welcome to episode 49 of the All Drive No Drop podcast. I'm joined by David. As always, David, how's it going tonight?
It's going great, man. This is the first podcast we're actually matching today, so
Oh
that's
yeah,
awesome.
we both have the exact same Centerline hoodie on, which we'll be talking about here in a second. Same color too. Not the same size, I'm not as slim as David over there. And a little bit taller, but what can you do? We're matching. Maybe this will be the only time. Maybe we're gonna be matching every episode. I don't know. It'd probably be weird if we're matching every episode, but who knows? A lot of cool stuff happened over the weekend. I had my annual local pickleball tournament. So the Royal Oak Southeast Michigan Classic was the 15th year they've ran it. So it's probably one of the longer running pickleball tournaments, probably in the world. I wasn't there for all 15 years, but I've been there for, I think this was my third year, I want to say. I don't think I
Okay.
played it my first year. I just watched, but yeah, my third year playing. Super fun. They moved it into, it's usually outside. They moved it into an indoor venue this time at Paddle and Par, which
hmm
has a bar. It has a pizza oven. It has golf simulators up top. It's a super nice facility. I think that if they could run it there every year, they should, because it was, it rained off and on in the weekend. Didn't have to worry about the rain. You had, people were drinking afterwards and eating. Like, it just ran so much smoother. And, shout out to all the people that ran it. I guess they tune in occasionally to the podcast. So Lee and Frank, if you're watching, shout out to all the work you do and all the other volunteers. Shout out to Carol and Tristan, who I played with this weekend. Shout out to all my other friends that played in the tournament, Andy and Esther, Brian. Who else played in there? Now I'm just drawing blanks. But yeah, there was a good mix of like local people, and we got a good amount of people coming in and traveling for the tournament. So it was a lot of fun to play against people I haven't played in before. What were you up to this weekend, David?
No, I was in Denver for the first time, so I was at a bachelor party there. But I tried tubing for the first time. It sounds relaxing until like you get in and the water was actually kind of cold and there's a bunch of rocks everywhere and you're like bumping into the rocks, but still a fun experience.
Okay. First time tubing ever, really. I mean, you would have thought you would have experienced that being on this earth more than 30 years by now. But
Yeah, I guess there's not many like places that have it, I guess, especially where I am. I think if I go
okay.
further down south, there are. But yeah, I
Okay.
did that, and then I also went to a gun range, so that was another bachelor activity. I think the guys I was with, they were all experienced, or I think like 30% of them knew how to shoot a gun, and then and I think they also owned guns. So when they were talking to the guy thought that all like 11 of us knew how to shoot guns, which was not the case. So I was there just like, I was too scared to ask what to do. I just kept hovering over people like, is that how you put the bullets in? But it all worked out. I was like, oh, I just put it in, push this button, and start pulling the trigger. But that was a fun experience.
I don't think I want to go to a gun range with you. And I've
Yeah.
been one time. I've only been one time. It was an experience. Not going to say I'm going to be like well, I went one time like 6 years ago. Don't ask me if I'm going to be a frequent visitor, because it was all right. But I don't really like people holding guns next to me. It just isn't my thing. Like, I'm on edge, so.
Yeah.
But hey, props to everyone who likes to go do that activity.
I mean,
So
the
you had a
twist
good
weights on
time?
those things are wild. Like the recoil, just
Oh,
off center
dude.
shots. Yeah.
I yeah, you better go you better know what you're doing, is all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say when you're with the gun. Like, don't be messing around.
Yeah.
No time for games. But yeah, sounds like a good weekend. I've been to Colorado once, well, Denver specifically. I think I was like 14, 15, so it's a long time ago in my life. Need to get back out there. I didn't get altitude. Did you have any like altitude sickness at all, or were you fine?
I was actually okay, but I think some of my other friends had it. Like they were just like
Okay.
so sleepy the whole time. But I think I was trying to stay hydrated. I think that may have helped.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. I didn't get it that when I was out there. I remember my dad got it, but I was fine. But I don't know. Maybe you get it as you get older if I went out there. I'm sure it'll be fine. Make some good pickleball training weather. I know like some of the athletes like to go train out there, not
Oh,
for
okay.
pickleball, but like just in general, train in that altitude. But Uh, moving on with just what we have going on today, we're going to be talking about my tournament experience. We're going to be talking about Centerline clothing. We're going to be talking about those quantums, the Ronbus Quantums. Are those $100 boomsticks? That's what people want to know.
Isn't it
Also be
Quanta?
talking about what? Oh yeah,
Doesn't it say
right there.
Quanta?
I don't actually have mine yet.
Okay.
For some reason, it's not even that they're getting shipped out of Kentucky and they always get stuck coming to me. Like people have had these for days now, and mine are just sitting at some post office,
Oh no.
some distribution center. It said they were going to be here the last 2 days, so maybe third day's the charm. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I look forward to be able to play with those more. But David's got some great thoughts, and then I'll be talking about the Luzz Inferno a little bit more, and talking about the differences between the Honolulu J2NF and the local Bread Butter Loco hybrid, which I played with both in the tournament. So got some good experience under pressure with both of them, really testing them out. So anyway, first up, let's talk about the Centerline clothing, because we both just got this in the mail, I don't know, like 4 days ago, I think. And we both got the hoodies on. Man, these hoodies are very comfortable, very soft. We're talking about clothing, a little bit on the higher end. Clothing ranges from, $60 to $100. We do have an official discount code right now, 20% off with all drive, no drop, in case you want to go check that out. But I use the shorts in the tournament, and first of all, love this drawstring. I just got it. Like, I don't know, how much people care about drawstrings, but let me tell you, when you just got the drawstring, you don't have to tie it, and you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it coming out of the shorts. This is just huge, and I
Yeah.
haven't had shorts that have had this before, but this is just great. So it's just connected. You can pull it to tighten it. Great. Wore these for, I don't know, 6.5 hours or something, and never was feeling like it was sticking to me, never felt like it was wet. Uh, it just awesome. You have like this strip down here where you can kind of dry your hands too. That was helping me out a ton. Uh,
Well,
but yeah, I love these shorts. Those were great. And I can't wait to keep using the shorts because that was awesome. I've been using the crew sweater. I went out to the zoo. It was a little chilly here, and very comfortable, super soft. One of the softest like crew sweaters I've worn, and it looks great. And you could just go transition to playing. That's what I really like about their line. Like it looks good, and then you can wear it out, and then you can go wear it to the court. So far I've been really impressed. Look for more content on that. I'm going to post like a short and Instagram reel. David already posted a reel about it, so if you want to go see some, the clothes in action, go check that out. But so far, I've been super impressed. Anything else you want to add there, David, on the Centerline clothing?
yeah, basically I've only tried the shirt and the pants. Plus one to what you're saying about the pants with the drawstring. I've had that happen where like one side kind of just falls, like comes out way too much and the other one goes into the pants and you had to
Hmm.
like, kind of slowly push it out. So this usually happens when you put it in the dryer. So those pants are nice, and the shirt's like just super light and breathable. It's actually like very elastic and stretchy, so definitely just goes over your body well. So those are the main two I gotta try out. And then I just threw this on just because you were wearing it. But the one thing we were talking about it does come with this little thing for your thumb. For those of you that do care about it, but yeah, not sure
Yeah,
what it's for, but I guess it's cool.
that's an added feature if you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have personally haven't really tried that much, so I don't know. But yeah, it is crazy. Like the shirt does, and it stretches a lot. I found out
Yeah.
because my son grabbed my shirt and he ran off with it, and the
Also,
thing could stretch like 2 feet, and it just went right back into shape. Didn't break, didn't rip, didn't cause anything. So that was pretty cool to test out, which I wasn't planning to test out, but he tested it out for me. So yeah, that's at centerlineathletics.com. We'll look to see if we have more coming from them in the future. Hope to see what happens there. But moving on to what the pickle, which was my tournament experience this weekend, and also kind of doubling as the Honolulu J2NF versus the local hybrid. And I wasn't well. I can't say I wasn't planning to use both in the tournament. I kind of wanted to use both in the tournament because I was playing men's and mix. And my idea originally was to use the Loco for mix, since it has more power, and then use the J2NF for men's, just, a little bit more consistent. And then I also wanted to kind of just test both of them in a tournament setting to really,
Hmm.
hone in my thoughts, because there's two paddles that I like a lot. I know that people have been asking about the differences between the two. So this was my setup here. I have about, what is this? This is about 1.5 grams on each corner there for the
Hmm.
J2NF. And then I ended up with less on the Loco. I didn't go any up here.
Okay.
And I actually had it up to here. So I went from like here to here with 0.5 gram per inch strip. It was too heavy to swing with it up here. So I took it off, ended up going with about 3 inches there from the throat. Uh, I think my swing weight on these two, so my Loco is 115, my J2NF is 114, twist weight 6.81 on the Loco and 7.12 on the J2NF, and this one is just a lot more like head heavy, so it felt less maneuverable, and as this one has more like weight, and I know some people don't like that, but for in it, and then for the sweet spot, I really do think the sweet spot's better on this. This just has more power in that, in the sweet spot. It's not my ball dust pattern's pretty good on that, right, David? It's pretty
Yeah, it's not
decent, right?
bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Uh, so I started off with the local hybrid, playing mixed open division, and started kind of slow. I wouldn't say anything about the paddle was holding me back. I just felt like power wasn't where I was having an issue. It's like sometimes I hit right here. Like,
Hmm.
say I tend to hit that when I'm trying to either, take like a fourth out of the air with my backhand, or I'm just trying to be gentle. Sometimes I'll hit a little bit too low on the paddle.
Got it. Yeah.
And that's where a paddle like this, where it has like more of a sharp taper, the ball can
Hmm.
just die. Now, with the J2NF, the ball doesn't die as much right here. The sweet spot kind of extends down a little bit. And it's also faster in the hands with that slightly shorter handle, or I guess the handle is about the same size, but you have less, taper. And that's why I ended up switching. So I played the first game with the Loco, almost came back and won it. Really wasn't anything, wasn't the paddle's fault, but I was just like, hey, let me go switch to the J2NF. I knew that like the next team coming up had a tennis player, like a high level college tennis player, and I'm like, all right, let me switch to the J2NF because I'm sure I'm going to be needing to block these drives. And I think it was a great decision because we almost won. It was six. We lost 16 or 18-16 to the team that ended up winning, or not winning, but they came in second out of 10 teams. So I felt pretty good about that. So basically, what I would break it down to, and I'm not using the long handle J2NF, basically because I'm not maximizing the handle. If you use your two-handed backhand all the time, especially for taking it like swinging volleys and drives, then yeah, I would go with the long handle still. But I don't. I usually am like two-handed backhand dinks, and then I will still drive with two hands on this and drop with two hands, but it doesn't affect me as much. And I just like that the sweet spot and stability are better with the short handle. It's not for everyone, but if you're not like a super hardcore two-hand specialist, or your hands are on the smaller side, then it's still fine. I so the pop, I would say, yeah, you're going to get a little bit more pop with the Loco. It's not a ton more. I don't think it's like a crazy difference. You're definitely getting a noticeable power difference. Uh, it's just not enough for me that I would wanted to sacrifice the sweet spot size and the stability when I was playing. So just during that time, that's why I made that decision. Those are the main differences. So if you're someone that are like, hey, like I just need enough power to get me into that power category, but I still want the best sweet spot size, I want the best stability combo with the power, then I would still
Hmm.
go with the J2NF. And if I wanted to go chase, the best power, best pop, for that price point, then that's when I would go with the Loco. So that's kind of clarified my thoughts and with getting the higher level tournament experience with them, and really put things into perspective for me. So if anyone has any questions, further about that, or David, if you think I'm missing anything from that explanation, let me know.
No, I think you're good. I mean, I haven't hit the hybrid of the Loco before, so I won't be able to
Yeah.
speak to that.
Yeah. And then spin, really couldn't tell a difference. They were like dead even in spin in real game experience. So no problem with either, both elite spin. So yeah, and then as far as the tournament experience goes, we had 2 pools, we did round robin. Was so the first game down to, I think we were down like 10-5 against a team that we've played the most in the tournament. Like we play with them regularly, locally. And then we made a big comeback, and I think we had like 8 game points that we saved. Just including one where I did an ATP, fell against the wall, and then she tried to hit me, and I like kind of like had to maneuver like on my back, and I skinned my back dodging the ball. I honestly, we drew the biggest crowd with like 3 of our games. We just kept drawing a big crowd because I kept ending up on the ground, and the games just kept going long. Also, shout out to the Centerline shorts for not getting ripped up as I'm rolling around on the ground. So there's another thing. But yeah, it was. I ended up on the ground in 3 of the 4 games. And it's not like that's unusual for me. Like I will end up on the ground, just I'm going all out. But it somehow, and then I get people talking to me as I'm setting up my camera, and they're like, dang, like you're really going all out there on the ground. And then I had like this sweet ATP in the comeback in that game, and I thought that I thought my camera didn't get the ATP. But what had happened is, I guess the game went so long, it created 2 separate files. So originally I was
Oh
like,
no.
oh, there's no ATP. And then I was going through the other footage. I'm like, oh, this is the same game. It just created 2 separate files. I guess I never recorded that long before. So
Okay.
yeah, so I got the ATP. It probably didn't look as when I watched it back, it wasn't as good as it was in the moment. But in the moment we were down, I think it was like 14-10, and I hit that ATP to get like the side out, I think. So in the moment, the crowd's going wild, Anyway, and then we lost that one, I think 15-11, and then the next game I think we were down like was it like 13-9? We come back, we're up 15-14, have 2 chances to close the game, and don't close the game. Ends up going to 18-16. We lose. This guy's like, he's got to be like a former D1, D2 college tennis player, like just stroking the forehand so hard. And we're hanging in there, but it's like, hey, and you're trying to go to his partner, but literally the guy's running like to the other sideline to get the ball. So I was like, all right, just go at him, I guess, because I was like, there's no like he's going everywhere to get the ball, so he's wherever he's taking it. We just have to survive that first drive, and we did enough, but it just couldn't close the deal. And we had a ton of fun though. So shout out to Carol. We played great. Almost came through. We just little break here and there. We could have made it out. And then men's, it was somehow I lost another 2 games, 16-14. So story of the weekend was I couldn't finish, David. I just couldn't finish the games. I was there. I was just like this close. I just couldn't get it. Yeah. Just sometimes luck isn't on your side, or the things don't go your way, but I felt good, like going 16-14 against 2 5-0s a couple times. It's fine. It's, and still, bro, I still lose duper even when I lose 16-14 against, 2 5-0s. That's pretty crazy. It's, but what can you do? What can you do?
Yeah, it's
It
not as
really
bad
does.
as like winning and losing duper though. That's the sad ones.
Yeah, winning and losing points does suck. I didn't do as much winnings this weekend, so I didn't win and lose any duper. But so there you go. At least I lost and lost duper. That's respectable. But anyway, it was a fun time. Great partners, great atmosphere. Got to have a couple drinks after the game, so enjoyed that and enjoyed getting to compare those two paddles in a tournament setting. And that's all I got on that. Any comments on that experience? And I know you don't do a ton of tournaments these days, but
So you said your username is all drive no drop, but why are you always on the ground, man? Doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I don't know. Like one time I fell because actually I don't know. The first time I fell, I'm not really sure what I was doing. I just like ended up on the ground. It was an ATP, and I think maybe I like just went out stretched out too far. The second time, I think that there was just something about the court was dirtier than the other courts, and I slipped. So I'm a bigger guy, and when I stop it, I can tend to get the loud squeal with the shoes. And this time, shoes just didn't stop; they kept going, so I fell. And oh, that one was pretty funny too because I fell down. I'll have to find the point, and then I hit one back. They hit it to me. I hit one back off the ground, and then I think they hit another one. I was able to reach it, but like the way I was going, like I couldn't get up, and then like I just like had to limp wrist it, and I didn't have enough power to from that
Oh
position to get it
man.
back over. So almost like I was about to get back up after that one. I'll have to throw these clips together of me flailing around on the ground. And then what was the third time? I don't even remember what I was doing the third time, but I was just like, I remember the last game. I was like, all right, and we crushed that one, and I didn't fall on the ground. I was like, wow, this is the first game I didn't fall on the ground, so it was good. But yeah, I probably wouldn't suggest playing like I do, but fun fact about me, I used to I used to I used to be really into Ninja Warrior, and
Oh, okay.
I might have done some parkour back in the day, so I know how to fall. It's the only skill I really learned. Was never really good at parkour, but I could fall,
Okay.
so I know how to fall gracefully. It might not look graceful, but I didn't get hurt at all.
Got
So
it. I was wondering if you were learning from Elise Jones or something.
yeah, I was doing it before her. Okay,
Okay, okay.
I was whenever I played basketball a long time, uh, and even when I played tennis, I would somehow fall too. So it's nothing new. It's just whatever sport I bring it to the sport.
Got it. Okay.
Ping pong, pool. I'm doing no. That'd be a little ridiculous. Maybe ping pong I could see, but
I can see
if you're
ping pong.
falling down during a game of pool, that's probably a little dramatic.
Yeah.
Just gonna say. But anyway, that's all my tournament experience. All about the Honolulu J2 versus the Bread Butter Loco hybrid, which is still, I guess I didn't understand it last time when I was talking about it, but I guess it's like a continual pre-order every week. I thought it was
Yeah.
like a one-time thing. So I guess just go to Bread and Butter's website and look at the schedule. That's probably the best way to do it if you're
Yep.
interested in that. Because I have been recommending that to people that have been looking for an alternative to the boomstick, and they want like the closest thing they can get. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably it. Uh, Unless you can think of anything that's closer.
Probably the Quanta, but I guess.
All right, whoa! Spoiler alert!
Yeah, that's
Spoiler
why I
alert!
was.
Spoiler! No, I'm just kidding. All
I was
right.
like, are you trying to make me transition now,
No,
or is
no.
that a genuine question?
Honestly, go ahead and transition to that because that's pretty good
Okay.
transition.
All right. So Rhombus released the Quanta. I think you guys have noticed Jacob likes to mispronounce the paddles.
What is it
This is the
called? A
same.
Quanta?
Yeah, there's no You've been saying quantum. Just
Jeez.
like how with the Element 6 you've been saying
Dude,
suitor instead of
you're
suitor.
gonna get all the suitor trolls in here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I just had to stop you there, but yeah, so fun fact was I actually Dong's son moved into the DMV area, and as he was moving in he was like, hey, you live in like close by, right? I was like, yeah, we can get some games in. So I think I talked about it before, but I did play with Dong, and that's when I got to try out the Quantas. um we chatted about like the ripples and the refoams, and I was telling him that I wasn't a big fan of the refoams, and he was saying like how the refoams are actually like so much engineering and they were much more like expensive to make because of using that different type of foam. But then he brought out the Quanta and he was like, yeah, this one's so much easier to make. Like I'm using EPPS, what everyone else uses, and then just, wrap another foam ring around it and then put it together. It was so much more easy of a process compared to the refoams. And so I hit them, and I thought they were really nice. I thought they were like a really good all court style paddle. I really like the R3, and then I think I mainly hit that and the R4, and I just thought like, hey, this is really solid paddle, and that's what I wish your refoam would have been. And then he was asking me what the price would be, and I said, I think 150 for like a foam all court paddle would make sense right now. And then that's when he told me like, yeah, we're going for 100. We're gonna go against Vatic. So I thought like, okay, an all court at $100, that's still a fantastic deal. But then cut to yesterday when I finally got these, I hit them for the first time and I was like, okay, this is nothing like the models you brought over. This one is now a power paddle. The previous one was like a really nice all court paddle, but this one just, I think people have been saying like a mini boomstick, and I think I can see that because I was actually hitting it side by side with the boomstick. I've hit mine unweighted, but like static or like stock, the swing weights and twist weights are on a bit on the lower side. So it's kind of like the Franklin C45. Like you do need to
Hmm.
weight it up a bit. And I think that goes for like all of the five shapes, but I only got three. So I only got the R3 and the hybrid R4. And um, for the wide body, I just chose with the R5 just because I don't have that one. So I went with those three, mainly hit the R3 and the R5, and no weight on them yet, but I can see the similarities between this and the boomstick. I think like if I do weight this up more, it can be in that same power category. I think it's a bit, yeah, I think the sweet spot's a bit smaller just because there's that less perimeter weighting, and I think it's a bit less unstable. So this does need weight, and I think the power is a bit underneath. But I will say, I don't think the feel is like a one-to-one. Like if you're looking for an exact one-to-one copy of the boomstick, this isn't it. I think it's close, but it's not like, it's not going to be like, oh, this is basically a boomstick. I think it's like kind of a budget boomstick. I still think it's a great paddle. I think you need to weight it up more, but yeah, I think right now it's the closest thing to a boomstick. I think the Loco is different in feel to this one. This one's more like that effortless, like power versus the Loco. The feel is a bit more stiffer and more predictable on the Loco compared to, I think, the Boomstick and the Quanta. But curious to hear what your thoughts are on when you finally get yours.
Yeah, I'm very interested in these. With hearing everything that everyone's talking about, I'm very very interested in. I can't remember exactly what shapes I requested, but I did have the stats that they sent Dong sent over here real quick off for three of the shapes. The he lists the R4 at a 104 swing weight with a
Yeah.
5.78 twist weight, so that's their hybrid shape. That would give a ton of room to customize
Yeah.
if that's what the swing weight comes in at. And then the R1, the curved top, elongated 108 swing weight with 5.58 twist weight. So another crazy low swing weight to give a ton of room to customize. And the R2 at 102 swing weight and a 6.34 twist weight. So you would think that that might actually be playable stock at a 102 swing weight, which is something that a lot of people ask for with their wide body, is to be a super low swing weight, and you could still add weight to that, keep it under 110. That one I'm really curious about because I remember the beta ripple. I just wrapped the whole R2 around, and it was still super lightweight. And oh my gosh, that thing just. So I'm a first thing I'm gonna do, wrap the R2 in 0.5 grams and just check that out.
Yeah, this is
Very
closer to
interested.
the Ripple than the current, closer to the beta Ripple than the current V2 Ripple is right now. So
Interesting.
yeah.
All right, there you go. Any other thoughts on those? I'm sure we will talk about them again next week for sure.
Yeah, not many thoughts. I basically only hit them for a few games yesterday, so it was
All
just
right.
really quick first impression for me.
All right. Sounds good to me. Let's move on to David's question of the week.
All right. So for you, this question for you, and I guess for the viewers as well, like it's supposed to be, but would you rather spend $300 for a one paddle that's going to last you durability wise for 1 year? So let's say the grit and the core last 1 year exactly. Or would you rather spend $100 on a paddle that's going to last you 4 months? So basically, those three paddles, durability wise, is going to add up to the same as that one other paddle, and the price is also the same.
I would rather get three paddles for the same price just because I would want the variety. And I guess you're in your scenario, the grit's going to stay the same for that 12 monther.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would choose three $100 paddles just because I'd want the variety. I'd much rather have three than one. If we're talking about, I guess it depends on performance too. Let's say the performance of that $300 one's better, but that's 100%, and the other three are like 90 to 95% of that paddle. I'd take the three. What about you?
Yeah, the reason I asked that is just like it feels like some technology coming out is like coming out as a premium and there's like more durability associated with it. But at the same time, like if you look at like the paddle market itself, like so many new trends and so many new paddles are coming out within that year that it's
Mm-hmm.
like if you pick that one paddle, you're kind of stuck with it for the year. And it's not really us. I guess it kind of sounds like I'm trying to like push more people to buy more paddles, but it's just like if I personally was a consumer, like would I want to be stuck with one paddle for like an entire year versus like would I want to spend $100 now and then like have like you said like maybe even 85 to like 90% of like that paddle, but then have the flexibility of like okay, I only spent $100 here, but I could spend $100 more and get a different one. Well,
Yeah.
that's something to consider is because I don't want to be locked in with that one paddle unless I really enjoy it, but having that flexibility of like maybe I don't want this $100 paddle, maybe I'll get a $200 paddle next, or you just have that more room for flexibility with your budget and just being able to try out different paddles, especially with like how much technology has been evolving with paddle technology or with paddles.
Yeah, I agree. I mean that gives another reason why I think if I like these Quantas,
Yeah.
I could see them being very popular because, for someone to be like, "Oh, well, I could just spend 100 on this. It sounds pretty good and I want to try something new, but, you know, spending 250 or 300 on or $333 on something new just cuz you're very curious, like it's easier to spend 100 than 333 for sure."
Yeah, you can
So,
get a Quanta and then I guess the V Souls, which are the new Vatic paddles, which we haven't
yeah.
got yet, but you could get both of those and still be
Yeah.
cheaper than a
And
Selkirk.
you could try the whole variety. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
I would much rather do that if I was buying, and rather
Yeah.
get a little mix. And then you always have extra paddles too, like if you're trying to bring friends or family that don't play. So
Yeah.
it's another one. Obviously,
Yeah.
we don't have that problem. We have a lot of
Yes.
paddles to to go around, but
Yeah, curious
um,
to see what the viewers think because they're a different end of the spectrum from us because we don't pay for our paddles, but they do. So curious to see what
yes,
they would think.
yes, yes. Please let us know if you'd rather have three $100 paddles or one $333 paddle, or it could be 300.
Yeah, make it 300 for the sake of the argument.
Yeah, make it simple.
Yeah.
Um, all right, yeah. So moving on to the Luzz Inferno, which is uh, the latest, I would guess you would say, from Luzz. I think this is their last one.
Yeah, I think it's their latest one.
All foam paddle. This is a man. I had it. Hold on. It's an E. Is it? Wait, no, 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 no.
It's
It's an
MPP.
MPP foam. Sorry, I knew I had it in my brain or on the paper. MPP foam. So it's not the EPP foam. This one's probably the most hollow I think I've hit from the foam paddles. Would you agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, it doesn't feel like other foam paddles for sure. It kind of feels like a Gen 3 style Yola or something.
It's like a
It's like
very
very,
core crushed Pro 4 is what people have
yeah,
told me.
very hollow, um, very powerful, I would say. And this one, where do I have the numbers here? I think it's a 119 swing weight and
Yeah,
like
that's right. Yeah.
a low 6 twist weight.
Mhm.
It actually felt pretty well balanced though. I did like the feel of, the handle length. Good too. I was out here crushing some two-ees with it. I was After the tournament, I was like, yep, definitely need to improve my two-handed backhand. So I just went and hit a lot of two-ees with it. And I liked it. I mean, it does it. I don't think it felt too stiff though. It's hollow. It's definitely on this, like, maybe like slightly above average on the stiffness, but not too stiff. For how hollow it sounds, I thought it
Yeah.
was going to be stiffer. It definitely, the sound is a little deceiving. Didn't add any weight. I see you added some weight. I'm sure that helps it a
Yep.
bit. Sweet spot was all right without the weight, but what was that experience when you added weight? Did it noticeably improve the sweet spot in power?
Yeah, mainly reason I added weight was because I was hitting this side by side with that Avatar paddle, and that one
Hmm.
was like 116 and then a lower twist weight. So
Okay,
that one I had added weight too. Like I could feel that the sweet spot wasn't great on that. But this one out of the box was like it was average, but because I added weight to the other one, like I wanted to like match up the swing weights and get everything
gotcha.
to be consistent. So I felt the sweet spot just improved like a little bit. Like it was already good to begin with, but I think the main thing that was just like the power on the drives kind of shot up even more. Like I don't
Hmm.
know about you, and I've been hearing like different reports on this, but like for me, mine's like very hollow, but it's one of the hardest hitting paddles I've hit. It just the ball just comes off so fast that it's kind of surprising me that it passed, to be honest.
Yeah. So, and just quick mention the price here is 229 goes to 195 with the code. I was hitting this next to the the Gearbox GX2 Power,
Mm.
and I wasn't measuring any speed at the time, but I was finding their power level like pretty similar. Like it was hard for
Okay.
me to tell the difference between the power between the two. So yeah, really, really good power on this Luzz Inferno. And if you're someone that's, I guess, looking for, this is called a FR polycore. If you're looking for a foam core, but that's, giving you more feedback and you like that hollow sound and you want and you want power and definitely can customize it. I think it's a really good elongated foam paddle, a good another option. The price isn't too much, considering the where power paddles are at these days in prices. And I think it's probably my favorite paddle that I've hit from Luzz. So I think it's
Okay.
pretty good so far.
No, I think it's interesting that it says polycore on here. I think that might like confuse some people because they might think it's like a polypropylene.
Yeah, that's something think we've kind of started seeing as a trend sometimes. Like people will tell us it's a foam core and then they'll use poly somewhere in the description, and it just seems like things aren't matching up. I guess, and I know people are saying technically like foam is, like a type of poly,
Okay.
like plastic. So but the thing is like it's confusing to us because everyone associates polypropylene with the honeycomb core, and
Yeah.
then when you think foam, we're thinking it's like solid foam. So I want the companies to just kind of differentiate between the two and not use poly with the foam just because it confuses people. Mainly, I'm talking about myself, but
I
I
mean,
think
me
it
too.
confuses everyone because that's just what we're used to, right? So, but yeah, when I looked at their graphics, I believe it is all foam. Like I
Yeah, it
didn't
is
see any
awesome.
polypropylene honeycomb.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Luzz Inferno. And I don't know what you think about this gradient, but you can judge it for what it is. It's definitely going to stand out in the paddle rack. I'll tell you that.
It's okay. I'm kind of indifferent on the
I don't
Athletics
care.
in this.
I
Yeah.
kind of like gradients. So for me, it's the first time I've seen that gradient combo. So shout out to Tina over there at Luz, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Anything else, David? I know it was a little shorter on our paddles. We were a little, we were busy in the streets doing some stuff this weekend, but I think those were
Franklin did
some.
come out with these
Oh
new
yeah.
quiet balls. I've been kind of using it as a stress ball, but I think the only other quiet ball I've hit has been the Enhance has one, I believe. That one's kind of like a full foam one. This one's like actually has holes in it, and it's also like really squishy. I will say I haven't tried hitting this yet, but it does. I have a feeling it's also gonna like bounce pretty high. Like it's much more like bouncier compared to an actual like plastic ball, but that's the sound. You can hear it.
Can't hear it.
Okay.
But I will say it's very bouncy. I
Yeah.
forgot to bring mine down, but I was bouncing it around, and it is. I think this is the first foam one that's like hollow. I think most of them, like you're saying, have been solid. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays. I know the other foam balls just got a ton more spin and went way faster. So we'll see how this one is. I imagine it's probably going to be the same thing, but with it having, you know, holes in the hollowness, I'll be interested to see if it's, different than those solid foam ones. But yeah, that's the Franklin Quiet Ball. I'm not sure when that comes out. I don't think they gave us a release date on that yet. So we will see about that. And I believe that wraps up all of the paddles and gear stuff that we had. Like I said, go check out the Centerline Athletics stuff to check out all that clothing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Al Drive No Drop, and Tickle My Pickleball. David, any other last words for you for the podcast before we sign off?
One last thing is I am doing that Niana giveaway right now. That's on my Instagram, and then going to transition to the last week of my summer giveaway. So this is gonna be this is the second to last week, and then next week is gonna be the last week. So if you want to win some free stuff, check me out on Instagram.
All right, go check him out on Instagram. Sounds like a grand finale, so he's probably giving away hundreds of paddles over there.
Maybe.
Maybe. Hundreds, if not at least one.
Yeah. It's like at least one, maybe 100. That'll be the clickbait thumbnail.
1-200s is the range. You'll have to go over there to find out exactly how many that is. Guys, have a great rest of your week and go play some pickleball.